Hey guys, I get this question a lot, so I figured I'd kind of do a quick video here. I'm actually home. I did a shoot with Cadence yesterday, and I'm about to kind of edit through the photos, and I'm just going to kind of do it live for you guys to show you kind of the basic way that I do it. And I say this a lot, and then people look at me and they're like, "Huh?" I use Capture One almost always to capture. So when I'm shooting tethered, I'm using Capture One. I feel like it's really stable. It works really well with all the different cameras. I don't use Lightroom for this, but I do use Lightroom when I catalog my images and keep them later on. The reason for that is because when I first started using Capture One, or I should say when I first started using Lightroom, Capture One wasn't that great for cataloging. It was like Capture 5 or something like that, and it was great. It was okay, but it didn't have like all the robust stuff it has now. Now Capture One's got tons of great file abilities to catalog and stuff, but since I already use this system, I just stick with it. If you only want to use Capture One, it certainly is totally fine and can do a lot of great stuff. If you only use Lightroom, then I guess you would just immediately already have the photos in Lightroom, so you wouldn't necessarily need this first part of it. But so I've shot in Capture One. I have the shots of Cadence here. One thing I always do is, if you notice over here, I've named my file. So the date and then Cadence. In this case, if it was for a project, I might be like Cadence on-set video, whatever. That means that all my photos have that name here, which means when I import them to Lightroom, I don't have to worry about renaming or anything like that. So that makes my life easier. I have a little generic kind of file structure that I put things in before I even get to the stage of catalog, and that way I don't have to move stuff around a bunch of times. So I'm going to quick Capture One because I'm done there. And I have Lightroom open in the back. You can see I'm in the import dialog. I'm assuming if you use Lightroom, you know how to get here. And I found the folder that has these photos in there. You will notice that I intend to make these black and white. This is the ones I was just showing you. But of course, they're raw files, so they don't look black and white here. Interestingly enough, when you shoot with Hasselblad, you don't have this problem because they kind of holds onto the files. And I think some DNG files do that as well. It actually keeps the stuff that you did to it. Any case, I got all the files here. I like to import them all, even though I can see this one here is clearly like a lighting test, so it's a bad exposure. I could just uncheck it if I didn't care about it, but I just do them all because it's easier for me to do that way. So they're all here. This is my full shoot. I'm just going to go to Add because I already have named them properly. I've already put them where I want them. If you just dump your stuff on the desktop, or if you're coming from a memory card, then you're going to want to do like copy and then add all the things you want to add here. But again, I'm just doing add. It makes my life easier. I found this works really well for me. I import, and they're going to jump right here into Lightroom. So this is probably going to take a minute. So I guess if it does take a really long time, I'll end up fast forwarding this. But actually, that didn't take very long at all. Looks like it's probably just building the previews. That's going to take a minute. So let me kind of while it's doing that, I can start to tell you what I'm going to do. So I have everything here, and they're all sitting in Lightroom. Now, how do I begin to like go through these? I shot a ton of pictures. Cadence is awesome, and we're always like, shooting way more pictures than we need to because it's just super fun shooting together. So I've got something like, I don't know, a couple hundred pictures here. Yeah, 369 pictures. So that's a lot, over 4 looks. What I'm going to do is, sometimes I break it down by look. If it's like a catalog again, I would probably initially, like I have my capture folder here, I might go like, these first ones are in the leather shirt. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say create folder inside capture, and I'm going to call it leather shirt. You want to check off include selected photos, and it's going to just put those in that folder underneath capture. Here I'm going to go, we'll call this black top. I'm just naming it by the clothing she's wearing, like I would do for a fashion catalog. In this particular case, since we were doing more of a tutorial video, I probably would call it the technique, but whatever, it's fine. So create folder inside capture. This one is black top. And again, I'm not renaming it Cadence because I already have it in the Cadence folder. That's kind of why I do that. And that might seem like, I know that especially if you're just starting, you're probably thinking, well, I'm going to remember that I shot these awesome shots of Cadence. No, you won't. Like there's definitely shoots that I didn't do this for in the past. And what ended up happening is I'm like, God, I know I did this this cool thing, but what is it? So I always name things with the name of the model and the date I shot it. You can also use keywording and stuff like that, and you should do that. I'm not going to go into this in this video. You can actually do it during the import too, which makes it a lot easier if you're going to do a lot of keywording. I usually do it after because the way I import is how I just showed you. This is now a white shirt. I think we shot 5 outfits actually. Okay, so white shirt. Boy, my ability to type is not very good today. Boom, white shirt. And finally we did this kind of textured dress. Now, the other thing that you could do here is if you were actually doing fashion catalogs, let's talk about that for a minute, and not just a quick test, what I would do is, as I was using Capture One, I'd be making these folders inside Capture then. Especially since a lot of times in those cases you're delivering to the client a hard drive, so you want to already have this stuff sorted out and you want to name each file what it is. But again, for the purpose of a test shoot where we're just playing around, I don't usually do that. Alright, so now I've made all these folders and it still has my same 369 images, but if I click on, let's say, black top, I just have the black top images. So what I want to do here is, and I'm going to do it for all the images, so I'm just going to click on Capture so I see them all. I'm going to select everything. That's just Command A. And then I'm going to hit the number 3, which is going to set them all to rating 3. So the reason I do this is it just makes it really quick to go through things. When we used to edit slides, you know, you would just go through and just like literally toss the ones that you didn't want, like just take them away. It makes your life easier as you're going through them. A lot of people pick photos by looking for the better ones. I found that subtractive is better. So instead of like looking for the best ones out of them, I get rid of all the ones that I don't like. That's pretty much how I do it. So everything again is marked with 3 stars now. I'll go to just the leather shirt ones. I'm going to actually select only active photo. So I'm going to take my selection away. And the other thing I'm going to do is, since I know that these are ultimately going to be black and white, I'm not going to spend a long time with it, but I want to make them black and white here so that I can at least visualize what that's going to look like. So I'm just going to just grab a quick preset that I use. Let's say add Fiscala. Again, I'm going to tweak these individually, but this way, as I'm editing through them, I'll see that they're black and white already. Makes my life a lot easier in the edit. I think I didn't do it to all of them. I did. It's just taking a long time. All right. This is why when you're editing, the most important thing is to have coffee. Okay, so I'm here now, and like I said, these are all marked with 3 stars. And what I want to do is go to the first. Actually, I'll do blacktop because blacktop is the first one alphabetically. You can do them in whatever order you want. I go alphabetically because I remember what I've done then. So anyways, these are all marked 3 stars, but so who cares, right? But if I go attribute and I check off here, right, 3 stars or greater, now anything that's less than 3 stars will be removed from my group. It doesn't delete the file. You still have it. So here we're kind of messing around. I can see the lighting is kind of shitty. So boom, 2, it's gone. That's not terrible. Now this is my first pass, so I'm going to basically look at them with I'm going to be a little bit more forgiving in this first pass. This is literally just to get rid of the ones that I'm just like immediately like, no. Not a huge fan of this because this shadow right here from her breast basically is creating makes her stomach look big, so I'm going to get rid of that. Now she's moved. That's a little better. I like her facial expression. Okay, chin's down too low. Not loving that. This I actually, even though it's bad lighting on her face, I think I might be able to tweak the crap out of it because it looks kind of interesting. She looks devious, and Cadence is pretty devious. Now, you'll see, and I'm going to put this video up on Monday, I guess it'll be the 7th, so this might go up today, what I'm doing right now, so which is Friday. This actually gave us a great idea. We lit it from underneath, and it looks so devious that that's what the video ends up being about, but so I'm going to keep the shot because I like it. This is when I was just messing with the levels of it. I'll get rid of that. No, I don't like that one either. That one's not terrible. And again, I'm just kind of going through, and right now I'm just like, okay, so I don't really like her expression there. I do like it there. I like it there. Like it there. I like it there. I don't like her elbow being cut off, so let's take it away. Let's see, this one, she looks a little bit like she's in between something. There's good. See the difference there? Chin up, chin down. This is one cool thing about, being able to shoot a lot of pictures. I don't really like that. I'm going to go there. I like the little smirk there. It's fun. It's really expressive for Cadence. Okay, now this is just my top light. And so it's a much more dramatic shot, which is kind of nice. And you see the difference there? Boom, boom, boom. So it depends on the vibe you're going for, right? And like right now, if I'm in the mood for a sexy cadence, I guess, so I kind of like that one. But smirky cadences. Oh, there's my cat. I'll close the door so the cat can't. So smirky cadence is, you know, maybe not my preference for this shot. I think sexy cadences, so I'll get rid of that one. I'm going to go there. And the reason why I'm only discounting the number on them as opposed to deleting them is because if later on I want to look for a smirky picture, you know, I got it in there still. And I can find it really easy. So when I find stuff that's similar, I kind of look at it. Yeah, I like that one better. You know, this time I like the smirky one. Not that one so much. I like that. This I kind of like. It's kind of classic move for cadence there. Not so much. Boom. You know, what's great about cadence is she's always like moving around and kind of experimenting with the light. You know, we've worked together a lot, so we kind of have a good vibe for what works and what doesn't. So again, these are all decent. Again, bad lighting, and I think at this point I'm probably shooting the video, so I'm probably showing like the stuff I did. Okay, see the light looking down, there's shadow again, there it is fixed. Okay, see then now we're into kind of the lighting that I think that we ended up liking. It basically was kind of a fun, weird thing with an upwards going shadow, which is completely against what you normally would do, but at the same time was something that we thought really worked for cadence and kind of the mood that we were trying to portray here. And I think ultimately when you're messing around different lighting, you got to be open to just things that you may or may not have thought would be a good idea. Let's see, and that's the last one. Okay, so now we can see that I'm now down to 33 out of 79. So I already eliminated half of them just really quickly going through this. And then what I do, and this is the important next step, is I select everything and I make these all 4 stars. So now, when I go to my attribute, 4 stars or better, now I'm going to go through and edit them again. That way I know that later on when I'm looking, if I'm just like, did I get enough here or whatever, I know 3 stars I didn't hate, so I can go back to those. So that one I kind of like. Okay, now I'm thinking, and I'll sometimes do this in the middle of it. You know what, I might like this if I tweak it, but I'm not sure, so let me quickly jump into the develop module and see what it looks like if I add a little bit of something to it. Like I think this could be really gritty. So I've got all my settings here, but I'm just going to do it by hand. I'm going to actually try to make it really high contrast and see if I like that. So I'm going to bring my exposure up a lot. I'm going to come down here to my darks, shadows. Whenever you do this, by the way, it always tweaks with your saturation, so make sure that you take care of that. So I'll do this, and then I'm going to bring my exposure down so to not lose the whites, to see if I like her more devious. I don't hate that. I'm going to drop my saturation a smidge. Let me see how much detail. There's detail there. Alright, you know what? I'm going to keep that one. So sometimes I'll do that. This I definitely like. This I really like. I like that one. That one, she's a little bit flat there, so I'm going to make that one 3 stars. Again, it's going back to the 3-star group, so I don't have to worry about it being gone or mixed in with my 2 stars. This one, not so much. Nah. I kind of like that, even though it's really simple. She always looks good like that. Cadence is very classic. No. That one I'll keep. That one I think is a little kind of modelly, which I like. That one's kind of good. Get rid of that one. That one's cool. I like that one. That her chin's maybe up too high, so 3 stars there. I'll go 3 stars. Again, now I'm being a little bit more picky. Get rid of that one. Chin's up maybe too high. This I like. This I really like. I like kind of this, and I guess ultimately that was the video, so I'm glad that I still like it the next day. Like that. See here I got a little bit of, I'm not sure if I like this light right here versus when her chin's down, it's gone. See the difference there? So I'll get rid of that one. I like that angle. I like that smirk. I like that one. Intensity. Okay. Going back here. And now I'm down to 19 pictures. Now finally, and sometimes I'll wait a day to do this next step because I want to be absolutely sure, but I'm going to select everything and I'm going to make them 5 stars. And then I'm going to go to 5 stars or greater. And I'm going to go through and be really picky. So, would cadence actually like this picture? Yeah, I think so with that one. This one now, even with the tweak, I'm not sure I like it. So I'm going to make that 4 stars. This I really like. This I really like. Oh, but see, these are so similar, so let's see. I'm going to lean towards this one. So now I've got this. This I like is classic. I'm really favoring her chin down in these, which is interesting. I'm going to lose this one, I think. This, I think, is too casual. That one. That's a little too fashiony, I think, for the vibe we're going for this. Here, I'm not sure I like the chin up. I'm just kind of going back and forth here to see what I really like. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so I come back now, and I've got, now out of the 79 images that I shot in this outfit, I have 11 images that I like. And at this point, I'll take these into the develop module, and I'll like do the white balance, and I'll look at them again and figure out what shot is the shot. And the way I do that is, in the end, the shot I pick, I then mark with a color, usually red or blue, green, depending on what I'm doing. It depends on how I'm going to look at it. And what I'll usually do is, if it's from a big shoot like this, I'll make, like, let's say all the ones I like in the black shirt red, all the ones I like in the leather shirt blue, you know, that kind of thing. That way, in the end, when I go to the capture group, I can sort through them that way. So that's kind of basically how I do a quick edit, and I'll do that on all of these. And in the end, I'll be able to click on capture, and I'll do the same thing, attribute 5 stars, and I'll end up with, instead of 379 pictures, I'll end up with like 50, and, you know, from 5 outfits, which is, you know, a much easier number to deal with when you're handing the photos over to the model or to the client. So that's cool. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys and you like it. Again, let me know if you like these kind of videos, where I'm doing more computer stuff, or kind of going a little more kind of behind the scenes of, besides just shooting. Anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you don't already and you just kind of found this. And you can find me on Facebook. I'm going to throw some of these images up on Facebook so you guys can see it there. Follow me on Instagram, all that goodness. And I'll see you next time.